Yeah, yeah. We just chillin' and vibing. Good conversations with good people. Oh, good conversations with good people. Yeah,
Yo, 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 this your boy Larry, and I'm chilling and vibing with the Bayou Songbird singer slash songwriter, Billboard charting, Mariah. What's going on, girl?
What's happening? I'm amazing. How are you?
Hey, I'm chilling and vibing. Hey, I appreciate you for coming to chill and vibe, though.
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
So, Mariah, where you from?
I am born and raised and still live in Shreveport, Louisiana, top of the boot.
Louisiana. That's what's up. So, like, how was it growing up, in Louisiana?
Love the eclectic vibe that Louisiana gives. I think it's a melting pot of culture and music and just a blending pot, really. Definitely born and raised in a church, still go to church, so very heavily involved in my church locally and in the gospel arena until the Lord decided that it was okay for me to fly in the secular realm. So starting that at, 16, 17 years old and having the blessing of not only my mother, but city is something that I'm blessed and grateful for.
So, Mariah, I've been doing my homework, and I see you're a nurse.
I am.
How long have you been doing nursing?
Well, I graduated with my baccalaureate degree in nursing from Northwestern State University in Natchitoches, Louisiana, December of 2018. So I have been doing nursing since January of 2019. So that's what, that's about 6, 7 years, I believe, which is crazy that the time has gone by that swiftly. But after I completed my nursing degree, I went straight the NICU realm, and for those who don't know what NICU is, that's neonatal intensive care. So I deal with the premature babies like 23, 24 weeks, all the way to the chronic, stable or unstable toddler age I've taken care of. But recently, I switched career paths. I stepped down from doing NICU full time because I went home with a NICU baby. I took care of him for 9.5 months in the NICU, became his godmom, and now I'm his primary home health nurse. Take care of him, primary
Oh,
task.
man, you got a big heart. That's love.
Oh, that's my baby. Yeah.
So how was it being a nurse during COVID for you?
It was definitely strenuous and it made you understand and appreciate what you had. I think people really didn't understand and grasp the brevity of the freedom of just doing what you wanted to do. Getting in the car, going to the store, going out to eat, being with friends and family. A period of time really separated and divided because we had to. We didn't know what COVID was. We didn't know the effects of it. Um, and seeing it in the NICU realm and seeing how that tore apart families, and we were really the ones that kind of bridged the gap, used a lot of electronic means like FaceTime, things that we normally didn't do in a hospital setting, but so people could see their babies and be able to make the processes of giving birth as normal as possible. It made you really sit back and realize, you know, we really had it good. And I'm thankful, that we are getting um past it. It's still very alive and well. It's still really affecting populations and subsets of groups, but we're learning more about the disease. And so I'm thankful that we are coming out of that phase of division and separation.
So Mariah, when did your music journey start?
I I would have to say my music journey started in the womb. I believe that I was definitely called for this, um for such a time as this. But my mother knew that I had the gift of song when I was around 2, 3 years old. And I'm really thankful for her. And I believe that I stand on some very broad and strong shoulders because she was my first vocal coach. And I'm thankful that she did not tell me that everything that I did was beautiful. As mother daughter, you would think like, oh, my mama's gonna be, cool on me. She's not gonna, hit me as hard as other people. No, she hit me harder than anybody else. And I'm thankful for that because it really set me up for success in the music industry because I really believe like we are sheep among wolves, especially in this kind of culture in this time. And so I'm thankful that she instilled the morals in me, the values in me, and the business sense to be able to do what I need to do as Mariah.
How did it feel when you start getting recognition from your hometown? Like when you start doing the music and like your hometown had you on the newspaper. We don't even do the newspaper no more, but hey, I would have to get that print and I have to put that in the house, put it in the case, put it in the frame. How did that make you feel though? Like my hometown showing love.
I feel like as a music artist in general, with whatever you do, sometimes it's very difficult to find that strength and find that love from your hometown because they know you in a more intimate setting than the rest of the world. I mean, the world knows me as the Bayou Songbird and Mariah and all that stuff, but people at home know me as Mimi. Oh, that's Sonia Hester daughter. That's my mother. That's Dr. Hester's daughter. And so the relationship sometimes changes your viewpoint and your outlook on what someone is trying to do in the professional sense. And once I realized that people saw me and my artistry, um, it's a feeling that I can't describe because I always say that support is free, but it's priceless. You can't pay for support at all. And so to see the texts, the calls, the news outlets reached out to me. I mean, there were viewing parties when I announced that I was going to do the Kelly Clarkson show on Valentine's Day with Raheem. I mean, just different things like that. That's money that you can't purchase that. And I'm so thankful and I'm so blessed that I have such a city that is knowledgeable and understanding of where I am, where I'm trying.
Your song Material Girl.
Yes.
What inspired you to write that song?
I was actually going through a time where I was dating someone, and I'm thankful. I say all the time that God gives me an auditory download. I believe that He puts me in positions and in instances in my life where, of course, I've come out on the successful end, but I'm able to write from those trials, from those tribulations, and hopefully, my music will touch someone who is going through that situation, and they will leave with their. But I was in a relationship where I got everything that I wanted in monetary sense. I got the flowers, I got the clothes, I got the expensive dinners, but at the end of the day, I was still empty. Um, Filled in the physical, but I was definitely depleted in the spiritual sense. And so that song was really written from a place of, I can have money, cars, and all of this thing, but can you give time? Can you give me attention? Can you give me patience? Can you give me teamwork? These are things that money can't buy. It's just principles and values you have to have instilled within your own or learn to have. And so through writing that song, I really came away with my own answer on what I should do with my next steps, and I'm thankful.
I'm assuming your next song I'm about to talk bring up stuck with you. That was a point in your life you went through something.
But yes, I definitely was in a lovey-dovey phase in a relationship, and I felt in that moment that that person understood me, that person um saw me for me. And I'm thankful for those experiences, and I'm thankful for the people that were able to provide me with those feelings so that I could write, I could feel in the space of freedom. Because essentially you want to be in a relationship in which you feel free. You don't want to feel bound. And so just a very carefree song about talking about someone that you love, how much they mean to you, and how essentially you stuck with them.
So I'm assuming your writing process come from personal experiences.
Yes, my writing experiences definitely primarily comes from um, shared or lived experiences. And the writing style that I have, I would have to say, is very eclectic. I could hear something in my sleep. I'll be dreaming and hear something. I'll have to wake up in the middle of the night multiple times a night and record it really quick so I don't forget. Or I'll hear like music and from things that I take away, like the stringed part of the music may really have a hold on me, or the 808s or the drum kit or something like that. And from there I'm able to kind of write a story based on what I hear. But I'm thankful for those processes, whether it's shared and lived or inspired.
So I gotta ask this: how did you get Raheem Devaughn on that track? Hey, yo, shout out to
Look,
Raheem too. Shout out to Raheem.
shout out to Raheem, the Love King. Well, I would have it is nothing but God's grace, his favor, his anointing. We actually have the same publicist. Rafael Blanco with Two Arts Entertainment. We met in May of 2023 at the Black Music Honors in Atlanta, Georgia. And I was holding my publicist's hand. He was coming from backstage because he was actually one of the performers that performed for one of the honorees. And we met backstage. And after that, I thought that was the end of it. I was like, oh, I met Raheem. That's great. I grew up listening to his music as a child. And my publicist was like, no, no, ma'am, you need to come to the after party. You need to meet. You need to mingle. And I was like, okay. I'm very much so a homebody. I get my work done and I go home. And that's just been me my entire life. The Holy Spirit said, no, 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 go on and dress for the occasion. So I did. And I ran into him again. I was like, oh. And he was like, we should do a song together. I've heard great things about you. And I was like, well, how am I gonna be able to work with you if I don't have your number? So took a step out, did that. We actually didn't speak for many months after that. Um, until one day, that was November of 2023. I wrote in my studio, actually, I call it the matriarch to what you are hearing on the radio now, which is Hold On Me. And it was entitled Energy at the time, and it was actually talking about the depletion of energy, not someone giving you energy. And I sung a snippet of it, and God told me to tag Raheem in it. And I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna tag him and go about my day. Well, about 30 minutes later, I get a message that says Raheem Devaughn commented. So I'm like scrambling on my phone, and it said, "Yup, this is the one." So I called my mama hollering, saying, oh my God, he just, he commented back on there. So I messaged him and I said, hey, I saw that you liked Energy. And he gave me a task. He was like, can you turn Energy into a love song? And I said, give me 15 minutes. And God helped me rewrite Hold On Me in 15 minutes, change the name, and here we are today with a song that has garnished over 4 million streams.
Yeah, I saw it hit the Billboard, man. Billboard charting. That's what's up, man.
I mean, God is really doing the thing.
How did it make you feel, when you saw it on the Billboard?
I feel like it is a definitely a full circle moment. Um, as a child, you always have like these huge dreams, and sometimes when you get older, you lose those childlike dreams. You lose them childhood dreams because you think that, oh, I can't get there. I won't see that. It can't be me. I'm not equipped for that. And for God to allow me to see what I saw as a 5, 6, 7 year old, now as a 28-year-old, is something that I am so thankful and so grateful for. Because at the end of the day, there are millions of singers that can perform, that do it with a love like no other. Now, why God chose me to be able to do what I'm doing now, I don't know, but I'm sure am thankful for it.
Who would be your dream collaboration?
Ah, there is so many dream collaborations, and one of my dream collaborations was Raheem Devaughn. So God has already blessed that. Um, but if I had to condense it to one or two, I would have to say Layla Hathaway and Jasmine Sullivan.
I saw you perform on the Kelly Clarkson show. What was that
Yes.
experience like?
Well, stepping back to when I got the call, I was actually in Memphis, Tennessee for the celebration of hope for St. Jude. And I was with my mother, who was a manager, and my co-manager slash publicist, Raphael. And we were getting our bags out of the car, getting ready for the weekend, and I heard like this huge gas. And I'm like, what's wrong? He was like, right, you're gonna be on the Kelly Clarkson show. At that point, I'm like hollering and screaming because I'm like, me from Shreveport, this little girl with this dream is gonna be like on the #1 daytime talk show in America. My God. So of course the process was ticking from then on, because you have a very short window of time to get, everything together, to get the music together, to let, your feature know, hey, guess what? We're gonna be on the Killer Crisis show. Are you available for these dates? And so the way that it all came together, and I have a beautiful, beautiful team of individuals behind me. Shout out to Amber Rain and Cool Kids Media for getting the video work done. Shout out to Face Recording Studio in White Plains, Maryland for the sound, Mr. Sean. I mean, like, everybody just came together, and it was such a beautiful moment, an intimate moment. And that's what I dreamed, and that's what I wanted, and that's what I saw.
Yeah, I saw you performing all over Chicago, Atlanta, New York, DC, and then I saw Kelly Clarkson. I was like, yo, that's huge. That's huge.
Yes.
How was it meeting the Harlem Globetrotters? I saw that clip also on your Instagram.
That was actually really cool, because as a kid, I used to be obsessed with the Harlem Globetrotters. Like, I used to love that, and WWE, which is very strange and random for me to like, but I love that. So, like, Harlem Globetrotters, WWE was like my two biggest things with my brother as a kid. So we were coming out of the set after doing my morning performance, and I walked over, like, just to go grab a cup of coffee, and I'm with my publicist, and I turned the corner, and it's them, and I'm like, and they were so sweet. They welcomed me with open arms. They let me do, like, the basketballs on the finger, and I'm sitting there like, oh, this ain't gonna work. I have nails. They figured it out. So it was an amazing experience, and I loved every second of it.
I saw you been on a lot of magazines. Which one was your
Yes.
first magazine cover?
My first magazine cover was Intrigue magazine, and that was a few years ago. I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. And I was actually out of town about to do a performance. I believe I was in Nashville. And my publicist, Raphael, he's my long term publicist, long term. He was like, I need you to sit down. And I was like, sit down for what? Like, what is it? And he sent me the cover. To see myself on the cover of a magazine was another bucket list of mine. And since then, I mean, God has blessed me and opened so many doors, so many cover girl opportunities, and on different platforms. And that was also a realization of God heard your prayer, and God heard your child heart, and he's blessing it, and I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, that's dope. When you see yourself on a magazine, like growing up, you see magazines all the time, but actually seeing yourself on one, like, wow, that's me.
Yes. Right.
What do you have planned for the near future? Music wise, you got any EPs coming out?
I have so much stuff coming down the turnpike, it's insane. So actually, there is a Hold on Me part 2 that is coming out this month. So really, Hold on Me is becoming a franchise. With the original Hold on Me, we really didn't even scratch the surface on what you guys are about to see. It is a ever changing, ever evolving storyline. Very much so like Trapped in the Closet. The chapters and the characters and the story. We're doing that in 2025. And we're so excited for part 2. It is very steamy, it's very lovey dovey, it's giving everything that it needs to give. So I'm so excited for that venture. And I also have an EP coming out this summer with not only Raheem Devaughn, but Eric Roberson and Ruben Studdard, the Velvet Teddy Bear himself. Ah, yes. So I'm excited for all of the collaborations, the beautiful music that is going to be coming you guys' way. I mean, we in for it together.
If somebody wanted to listen to your music, how could they do that? Which platforms?
I'm actually available on all DSPs. So if you're on Spotify, Google, Deezer, Tidal, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Shazam, you can find me under the alias Mariah with a P.
So, Mariah, what advice would you give a young lady, who was interested in starting her own music career? What would you tell her?
I would definitely say bet on yourself. You don't bet on yourself, nobody else is going to bet on you. But if you feel in your heart, you feel in your spirit that this is your calling, that this is what you are called to do for such a time as this, in this season, then you go forth full-fledged, unrelenting, and powerful. You walk into your season knowing that you are supposed to be there. Never subjugate and place yourself into a box because people will try to do that if you do that to yourself. Always keep God first in everything that you do, and He will direct your path.
Well, Mariah, I appreciate you for coming to chill and vibe. But before we go, let everybody know what we doing.
Oh, baby, we chilling and vibing.
Oh yeah, appreciate you, Mariah.
Of course.